Good morning, everyone. Hi. Good morning, Tux. Hi, everybody. There you go. Hi. Good morning, Morris. Good morning. Well, we're going to have another gorgeous day today. Highs in the near 70. Hi, Stripe. Did you wear yourself out patrolling the yard already? Oh, yes. And the sounds of the chickens and the swans and the ducks and the turkeys and whatever else is up there. I'm going to make a concerted effort every day to pick up at least this much sweet gum balls. Maybe twice a day, but not at the same time. I did the area over there by the cat hotel this morning. It's just, I'm getting ready to mow and they go off like some combination of popcorn and fireworks when I mow the first couple times, and I don't want them to start 500 little sweet gum trees in the yard either. And they're hard walking. Down here on the carport side of the driveway, that's where I dump the sweet gum balls. They'll go downstream. I'm good with that. Hi, Marty. Yeah, I didn't really get into the front yard, but I will get back down to Don's tree today. I will. Good morning. Hi there. Hello. Hi. Good morning, baby girl. Come here. Good morning. Hi. I got a chicken in the Instant Pot for you, so later on you get some fresh chicken, okay? Don's getting 2 open-faced chaffle sandwiches this morning. Probably gonna wash Jules and put on the mud flaps. We'll see. It's so pretty out there today. Thank you. Please fix. I can't make you special coffees until you fix.
Yeah. Well, it's a tricky, not tricky. Just taking the cover off was a little. If I hadn't had instruction, I would have flex switched a little bit more. But this little mechanism, that little thing that makes it unlock.
Yeah.
It's kind of got a little spring-loaded thing in there. That's kind of neat. But these 2 screws had basically backed out completely, and so the metal handle just fell off.
Yeah, so Don and I knew it was acting up, and I guess we both wish we'd have took it apart before it came apart in my hands and tightened it down. But, now we know if it gets loose again.
Yeah, it won't be any issue from now on. So
Yeah. I vacuumed Jules. Jules is ready to be washed. I like to vacuum before we get the ground around the car wet. And I carried off more sweet gum balls, and I'm fixing to go put out 4 more lavender sachets. And the whole yard smells like lavender. After yesterday, me putting the oil out, when you come out here, you just smell it right away.
Gotta love YouTube. So this metal handle came off. It locks and unlocks the Nespresso coffee maker. And I looked at this top and I said, well, how do you get that off? And so I said, I'll just go look to see if I can find a YouTube guy, a YouTube person. And sure enough, somebody on YouTube said how you get this thing off. It's 4 screws and you got to pull a couple tabs. But basically, the little 2 little screws have come out, and the screws were down in the machine. So I was able to fish them out. So hopefully here shortly, I will have this back together and it'll be working, and I won't be worried about taking this apart anymore. From now on, the screws were really easy. There were a couple little clips or something that I kind of had to futz with a little bit, but they kind of let loose pretty quick without breaking. So I'm quite pleased. Okay, so I'm taking it back apart slightly because I learned something. Because those guys they warned you about these clips. And what happens is, there's really not clips, there's pins. See this right here and that right there. They go into that opening and that opening. So what happens is, when you turn this thing over, That's the lock position. It's all the way locked. So that's easy to see over here. This thing is spring loaded, but once it gets into the lock position, it's locked. So my recommendation is put it in the lock position and then put this cap on, because then the pins just like line up and it just like drops right on without any finessing too much. I mean, you just basically a little wiggle, and you don't have to worry. You can unlock it here. It's easy enough to unlock, you know, so you don't have to worry about that. And so anyway, that's my recommendation. And when you do it, I'll show the last video. This cover, this seam totally disappears inside this cover.
Catching my breath, I did another round, second round today of acrobatics underneath Don's tree, trying to get all the old leaves off of it. It's because we had that super late frost. Here's Tux. You can see him in the shade. He was down there with me, and he threw himself over for tummy rubs and butt scratches all the way up the hill. The kitties are really good about keeping me company in the yard.
That's right.
But I gotta go debone that chicken, and I'm probably gonna rest for a few minutes with Gray.
You do that.
And do yesterday's video, and then I'll be back out for the next round of stuff. I put out some more lavender sachets, and you know, it's one of those days where it's just a lot of little things. A lot of little things. We're not walking, well, at least we're not walking any major amount. Get ready to work on the video, and I have help up here. She likes to rub my head. Hi. Hi. For the first few minutes, it can be a little rough as she expresses her excitement that I'm sitting here. And then she falls asleep good. She's a good nap buddy, too. Don's working on Jules. I hope to get this knocked out pretty good and move on to the next thing.
Well, I used my tool. It's kind of a little Y fork thing. It's kind of narrow, but honestly, you have to pop it up, start it with a really thin screwdriver. But once you raise it up with a little screwdriver, then you can slip this under there, and it does a pretty good job. Now, of course, this all depends on you can get to it. The other problem with these clips, sometimes, you know, you don't have room to maneuver your tool, and it gets really hard to get to them. These are relatively out in the open. Yep, went in really easy. Pushed in. It's very secure. I don't think those clips are going to come out, short of, you know, using a tool to get them out. I'm sure the little slight, you know, sticking out, it'll probably relax a little bit. Maybe not when it gets hot. But yeah, they look pretty good. I mean, I like it well enough. Another thing, those new clips that came with the flaps, you know, they kind of, like I said, they look like they were threaded, but the threads didn't really do anything. Well, when you push on them, they're kind of hard to push in. A couple of were tight, and pushing in the little thing, the thing that looks like a screw, it would flip over. It's just plastic. In fact, one of them broke off, but it was really tight, so I didn't worry about it. So before I broke off any more, I went and got this 10 millimeter socket, driver socket, and a 1/4 inch wrench. And what that does is that head of that pin fits inside of that, and it won't slip off. So I could really put some hurt on it. I could really push hard on it. And of course, it didn't hurt my finger, and I could control it. It wouldn't slip off. And I would say, you know, I kind of wiggle it back and forth that way, and it would just go click, 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 click. It would just work its way down tighter and tighter, and you know, to probably the last 1/4 inch. And then I would just take another tool like this tool right here, and just using the flat of it, push and drive it all the way home. So I would say that those clips, you're not going to get them out without destroying them. So those mud flaps are on there. They're not coming off unless somebody has a tool and more clips to put back. Okay, there's the American flag emblem that Marianne got me for shortly after the first of the year, for my birthday. That's right. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. So I cleaned the surface with O&R, then cleaned it with rubbing alcohol. Then I stretched a string. I put blue painter's tape and a string where it says dual motor there, that underline, and I ran it straight and put tape over here, and I got basically the line. So the bottom edge of the flag and the bottom edge of the dual motor, the underline under the dual motor, they're equal. And anyway, it was pretty straightforward to put on. I think it's going to stick really good. I mean, the adhesive's pretty good. I just got to wash the car now.
Well, the mud flaps are on. I'm done with the video and some more 3D print, editing, creating stuff I was doing. Don's waiting for the sun to move away just a smidge more so he can do the car, wash the car. So this bag has Friends Legos in it too. Something that I found in another bin upstairs. And then it's one of those little storybook things. And then, I don't know, some castle stuff or whatever. So there's a carriage in there that's different than the other carriage that I want to put together. And then probably what I'm going to do is, you know, have all those Ziploc bags with assorted colors. I'm either going to put what's together here, or I'm going to combine it with the other bags of sorted Friends color stuff. So this is not a huge lot of Legos. It's a pretty small amount. So hopefully I can get it done today. Yeah, I mean, I had gone through this bag a little bit once before and put all the minifigure and special parts in here. But I've got this set to make sure I've put back together properly. I have this set already, so I could give it away. It's the Friendship Girls, looking at the solar system, the night sky stuff. And here's the carriage. And anyway, so like I said, I'm going to put the carriage back together, and then I'm just going to try to process these Legos into the bags, the other Ziploc bags. It's back together, and it does have the minifigures. The only part that's not the right color is this wand is supposed to be pink. Other than that, it's all here, right down to this fancy green goblet that's a little bit different shape than the usual goblet. Has a little doggy also, and an interesting clock piece. Here's the instructions for it. They're not in the best shape, but they are here. And I have a couple other carriage pieces, so as I find more, I'll keep that all together. I might be able to build another carriage someday. It's all here, and it's in new condition. It's in great shape. It was missing one part that I easily found. So it's ready to play with. One more set here, this electric car that recharges, Olivia's electric car. I've built this one before too, just like the last Starry Night one. I think it's still on display on a table in, well, it was in the green room, but now it's in Johnny's room. Anyway, I think it's all here. So the little car's already built. All I got to do is pull out the minifigures and put the windmill back on its base. Pretty funny to think that a windmill might charge a car just like that. But anyway, it's cute. Jules is going to be so much happier clean. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it should be all shiny and clean.
Coming off of winter. It is what it is.
Yeah, I realized I haven't washed her this year. First time all year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, yeah.
Well, but white actually stays clean looking.
Hi, boys. Are you guys keeping Donnie happy company? Everybody's here. Well, there she is. Don did an excellent job. I helped a little bit with door jams. That's my jam, right? Door jams is my jam. As long as the mosquitoes aren't going to get me, I come out here and help at the end. Whew, we're going to South Park to play Pokemon. I got it all back together. It's missing 2 stickers here and here. This bigger one is a solar panel. And I had to make one part substitution, but it went back together properly. That's just not supposed to be sticking out on the side. So it's basically all together. I'll probably carry it in Ruby, and when the right kid shows some interest in it, I'll let them take it home.